Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Doodle Robot and today we're going to talk about craft paint in coloring books. Because I had a really good viewer question and I thought it deserved its own video. So the question was about the paints that I have and use in my coloring books. Where can I get those in Europe? The answer is I don't know. But let's go through what they are, because probably in Europe you probably have the same thing. It's just called something else and in a different package of some kind. I would think that this sort of thing is probably all over the world. I do watch videos in languages that I don't understand. I just watch, I look at the pictures. I usually turn the volume way down. In Spanish and French and European, and I'm guessing sometimes Arabic. I don't really know what the languages are. So I see them using stuff that is probably what I have here. It's just whatever they sell in that country. Okay, so we'll go through each of these types. I just got out two of each kind here. I've got, these are apple barrel, and these are all, I have many colors of apple barrel here. You can see all the colors. I don't have all the colors that they have, and all of these are just available at my local Walmart. We don't even have that impressive of a Walmart. I live in the middle of nowhere, so I get what they have. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But these are matte acrylic paint. Now, these, I have apple barrel and the rest are all folk art. If you're in a town, a city, not like, I don't live in a city, I live in a teeny tiny town, a village. Michael's usually has, I haven't been into Michael's in a while, I'm sorry, my Sharpie bled all over me, it exploded. They have a whole aisle, it seems like, dedicated to these kinds of crafts paints, and they come in all different names. They're basically all the same, though. I mean, they may vary in color, but you can find them all to do all the various different things that we talked about. So these are the apple barrel mats, and it's a good idea, I think, to use matte paint in coloring books, because that means when you close the pages, they're not going to stick together. If you're using something like a gloss paint, it's going to stick. Okay, now, what would I type into Google in Europe to find similar things to this for these apple barrel matte acrylic paints? I'd probably type in craft or hobby, whatever the translated word is, matte acrylic paint, and look for something inexpensive. Okay, so hopefully, and it's probably going to come in some kind of different packaging. Now, maybe there's a more, I don't know, maybe there's a more expensive brand of acrylic matte paint that you could find. If I weren't painting in coloring books, I'd use something like Golden or Liquitex, because I like the really soft body paints personally. Also, when I was doing large murals, I'm not going to buy little tiny things of paint at Michael's, because that's the costly way to do it. When I did large murals and I could use any kind of paint I wanted, I would buy house paint because it has a 20-year guarantee. It's out in the sun all the time, etc. And oftentimes it has a primer. Oftentimes it's not transparent, it's opaque. Sometimes you get a transparent one. In house paint in the US, I don't know if this is true in Europe, I would think it would be, but I could be wrong. They have gloss, semi-gloss, eggshell, and matte. I feel like there's 5 and I'm missing one, but I'm not sure what that would be. I always buy, for my murals, I would always get eggshell. Okay, so you could, that's another thing you could possibly buy if you can go to the paint store and have it mixed. I know in the US you can get the 5-gallon bucket, the 1-gallon bucket, the little one which is like a pint or something, and then there's a teeny tiny one which is basically for very small projects or just to try to test your paint to see if it's the right color. You could get those too in matte finish. I would think that would probably work. Then you have to you know, pry open the can. It would be a hassle. But that's a possibility. All right. So these are just the matte ones. I don't have everything. This just happens to be the brand that my Walmart carries. Maybe in your town, in whatever stores you have, it's Deco Art or something. They come under lots of different names, but they're basically all the same things. So these are just various colors in matte. Like I said, I don't have them all, but I think I have enough to be able to mix any color that I would want pretty much under the rainbow. All right, next up are the metallics. So I just got two out. I have, these are the metallics I have: sterling silver, pure gold, royal gold, bright red, and one way down here, blue sapphire. I'm not huge on the metallics. I kind of like the flashes better. I don't know why the metallics work better. These are folk art, and they just say metallic finish acrylic paint. So my guess is probably anywhere you live, you could find metallic acrylic paint to do whatever you want to do. I don't think it has to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be labeled folk art. It could be anything. Now, there's a lot of people out there with their metallic watercolors, which watercolors aren't my favorite because acrylic paint sticks to everything. But I would think that a lot of the same things I do with this, you could probably do with metallic watercolors as well. The next thing I have is color shift. That's probably the biggest. I don't really see a huge difference between the metallics and the color shift. The color shift, supposedly, if you turn it, it shifts colors, and they do in varying degrees. When I paint some of the color shifts on black, they do change colors, so maybe, and some don't. So maybe that's what they mean by color shift. I'm not really sure. I kind of take them as they are, and oftentimes I do an underpainting of flat. So if I'm going to use like this color, I might do an underpainting of that. And actually I did that recently because I think it's just going to be true to what I see here. This is what I'm going by, so. Okay. So metallics and color shift, not that much difference. The color shifts may shift on black. If you care for that kind of gimmicky stuff, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm just looking at colors. I especially like my 3 new pastel colors. Those are awesome. So, okay. And then Dragonfly Glaze, also by Folk Art. Those are here, and the Dragonfly Glazes and the Glitterifix just have glitter in them, basically. The Dragonfly Glaze has very fine glitter, and I don't know if you can see on camera. So this one kind of looks yellowy, and then it shifts to blue. This one kind of looks pink, and then it kind of shifts to green, I guess. This one kind of looks green, and then it shifts depending on when the light hits it. To my eye in real life, these look yellow, pink, and greenish. And very light. If you watered them down, you could paint any of them over snow, they would be fine. The Glitterifix have big chunks of glitter in them of different colors. So I got a couple of those out. It's just a difference of tiny little glitters and big glitters. Obviously, the bigger glitters you can see, Kaleidoscope has all kinds of colors. Clear Hologram, probably the one I've used the most of, has all kinds of light colors. Black has mostly black, but some other colors in it as well. And I have a blue one and a purple one. The one I don't have, which they don't sell in my local Walmart, is neon orange. I'm looking for that one, though. When I go to a town, I'm going to look for it. But otherwise, I don't feel I need too many more colors. Now, there are the Glitterifix and the Dragonfly Glaze. Basically, you're looking for glitter suspended in basically a white shiny glue. White shiny, I don't think it's even paint. I feel like it's more of a glue-like substance. Same thing here. It's almost like it's suspended in a Mod Podge kind of substance, which Mod Podge is basically glue. PVA glue? Is that the initials? PVA? So fine glitter, bigger glitter. I would say that the stickles that people have, I'm not a huge fan of the stickles. I have a couple. Those are kind of medium glitters, basically. And they're a little more structural or texture-like. So when looking for them in a different country where they might be under a different brand name, you're just looking for metallic or shiny paint, glitter, big glitters in paint, or tiny glitters in paint. We have other things in the US, like Mod Podge sells Mod Podge Super Glitter. I don't know what it's called. Basically, it's these. It may not have a slight tinty color to it. I think there's one by Folk Art that's just probably pure shininess, probably like white glitter in it or something. So basically, you're just looking for things that have glitter in them, either small or big, things that are metallic or shiny, and things that are matte in acrylic paint, basically. They're not, you don't have to have this brand that you see people using in the US. My guess is that your country has, whatever country you live in, has something similar. It's just in a different packaging with a different name. So type in things like craft metallic acrylic paint, glittery paint, big glittery paint, small glittery paint, something like that. I know that some people have like every kind of like shiny thing available, and I'm not knocking them. They can do them. And I'm glad they do, because I can watch those videos and I can say to myself, okay, I'm not going to try to find something that can only be found in the UK and is expensive. I can find something cheap in the US that will do the same thing. I would refer you to Coloring with Kay once did, and it was very informative, once did a video that was something like how to paint 20 different ways how to paint embellishments on snow. And she had all kinds of glittery stuff in the kind of light colors like this, maybe some colors like this, but more light, white, yellowy, maybe with a hint of some colors. And she had probably 20 different makers of products, kinds of products that would do basically what these do. I'm glad she did that, because I'm not buying 20 million products to do the same thing. I want one or two and I'm done. So my attitude personally is I'm going to watch videos and I'm going to buy one or two kind of cheap things. It's a coloring book to try to get the same effect. A similar effect, close enough, good enough, is good for me. So I hope that helps my viewers' question on what to buy. Just think of what you can Google that's going to get you to a similar product. I wouldn't send away to America for some of these projects. They just don't seem worth it. Like, I'm sure that the same thing is in your country somewhere. You might even have to look in the little kids section. The school-age children section is where most of these things are located, like the craft and hobby section. It's not the section for serious artists. That's not where you find these things. All right, so I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have further questions. Let us know in the comments if you live in a foreign country and you have similar things, what they're called for people who might be in that country. That would be great. And that is pretty much it. I thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.